Hello, dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are in the best of your health and enthusiastic towards your studies. Children, today we are going to study chapter 11 of grade 7 science, that is transportation in animals and plants. So, let us see what we already know about this. All living organisms need food, water, and oxygen for survival. Which organ of human body beats continuously? How plants absorb water from soil? We all know these answers. So, dear students, now let us see what we are going to discuss in this chapter. Circulatory system, excretion in animals, transport of substances in plants. So, let us start with circulatory system. Circulatory system consists of the blood vessels, blood and heart. It transports different materials to different parts of the body. What happens when you got injured somewhere? Yes, blood starts flowing from the cut. Dear students, do you know what is blood? Blood is that liquid which flows in our blood vessels. It transports substances like digested food from small intestine to the other parts of the body. It carries oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. It also transports waste for removal from the body. So, dear students, blood is a liquid which have cells of various kinds suspended in it. The fluid part of blood is called plasma. It has three kinds of cells suspended in it. First type of cells are called red blood cells or RBCs. These are red in color due to the presence of a red pigment called hemoglobin inside them. Hemoglobin binds with oxygen and transport it to all the parts of the body and ultimately to all the cells. The presence of hemoglobin makes blood appear red. Second type of cells in blood are called white blood cells or WBCs. These white blood cells help to fight against germs which may enter our bodies and cause diseases. Third type of cells in our blood are called platelets. When we get injured, then blood starts flowing from the cut made by injury. But you must have observed that after some time, bleeding stops on its own. It is because platelets forms a clot at that cut which plugs the cut and bleeding stops. There are different types of blood vessels in our body which transports the blood from one place to another. there are two kinds of blood vessels, arteries and veins. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from heart to all parts of the body. Since the blood flow is rapid and at a high pressure, the arteries have thick and elastic walls, whereas veins are the vessels which carry carbon dioxide rich blood from all parts of the body back to the heart. The veins have thin walls because here blood flows with less pressure. There are walls present in veins which allow blood to flow only towards the heart. Arteries do not possess walls. Dear students, here you can see in this figure that arteries divide into smaller vessels. On reaching the tissues, arteries divide further into extremely thin tubes called capillaries. These capillaries join up to form veins which empty into heart. Now, let us have a look at our heart. Heart is an organ which beats continuously to act as a pump for the transport of blood, which carries other substances with it. The heart is located in the chest cavity with its lower tip slightly tilted towards the left. Our heart is roughly the size of our fist. Our heart is divided into 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers are called atria, right atrium and left atrium, and the lower 2 chambers are called right and left ventricles. The walls are present between atrium and ventricles stop the backflow of blood. Dear students, now let us have a look how blood transports in our body. Transportation of blood. Capillaries from all the body parts bring the carbon dioxide rich blood in veins, and small veins brings that blood into main vein called vena cava. From vena cava, this carbon dioxide rich blood enters into right atrium. This deoxygenated blood from right atrium goes into right ventricle. Right ventricle pumps this deoxygenated blood into pulmonary artery for taking it to lungs. Here in lungs, gaseous exchange takes place and now the blood becomes oxygen rich. This oxygen rich blood from the lungs now comes to left atrium through pulmonary vein. This oxygenated blood from left atrium goes into left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the oxygenated blood into main artery called aorta for taking it to all the body parts. In this way, the cycle continuously moves on and blood regularly flows in our body. Now, let's study heartbeat. The walls of the chamber of the heart are made up of muscles. These muscles contract and relax rhythmically. This rhythmic contraction followed by its relaxation constitute a heartbeat. Doctors use the stethoscope as a device to amplify the sound of the heart. Dear students, now let us learn about human excretory system. The process of removal of waste product in the cells of the living organisms is called excretion. The parts involved in excretion forms the excretory system. The waste which is present in the blood has to be removed from the body because they are toxic and hence they are harmful for our body. But do you know how can these waste materials are removed from the body? Let us see. For this, there is a need of filtration of blood. This is done by the blood capillaries in the kidneys. When the blood reaches the two kidneys, it contains both useful and harmful substances. The useful substances are absorbed back into the blood. The wastes dissolved in water are removed as urine. From the kidneys, the urine goes into the urinary bladder through tube-like ureters. Urine is stored in the bladder for some time and is passed out through the urinary opening at the end of a muscular tube called urethra. So, dear students, in this way, the kidneys, ureters, bladder and urethra form the excretory system and helps us to get rid from the waste materials. Dear students, now let us see how transport of substances in plants occur. Children, plants absorb water and minerals from the soil through the roots and transport them to each and every part of the plant. The leaves prepare food for the plant using water and carbon dioxide by the process of photosynthesis. Plant absorbs water and minerals through the roots. Roots have root hairs. The root hair increases the surface area of the root for the absorption of water and mineral nutrients dissolved in water. The root hair is in contact with the water present between the soil particles. Plants have pipe-like vessels to transport water and nutrients from the soil. These vessels are made up of special cells forming the vascular tissue. A tissue is a group of cells that perform specialized function in an organism. The vascular tissue for the transport of water and nutrients in the plants is called the xylem. The xylem forms a continuous network of channels that connects roots to the leaves through the stem and branches, and thus transports water to the entire plant. As you all know, leaves prepare food in the plants. The food has to be transported to all parts of the plant. This is done by the vascular tissue called the phloem. Thus, dear students, xylem and phloem transport water and food in the plants respectively. Students, as you learned earlier, that plants release a lot of water by the process of transpiration. Plants absorb mineral nutrients and water from the soil. Not all the water absorbed is utilized by the plant. The water evaporates through the stomata present on the surface of the leaves by the process of transpiration. The evaporation of water from leaves generates a suction pull, which can pull water to great heights in the tall trees. Transpiration also cools the plants. So, dear students, now let us see what we have studied in this chapter. Let's revise. Circulatory system consists of heart and blood vessels. Removal of waste products from the body is called excretion. Nutrients along with water transported to the entire part of the plants by xylem. Transport of food to the various parts of the plant is done through phloem. A lot of water is lost by plants in the form of vapors through stomata during transpiration. Now, dear students, let us discuss some questions. I hope you all know the answers. First question: name the components of blood. Yes, the components of blood are RBCs, red blood cells, WBCs, white blood cells, and platelets. Second question: what makes the color of our blood red? Yes, you are right. Presence of the pigment called hemoglobin makes our blood red. Third question: which component of blood is useful to stop the bleeding at the time of injury? Yes, you got it right. Platelets, they form a clot at the cutted area after bleeding, and at the time bleeding stops. Question number 4. What is the normal heartbeat rate for an adult person? Yes, 70 to 80 times per minute. Question number 5. Name the instrument used by doctors to check our heartbeat. Yes, you must have seen that. That is called stethoscope. Doctors use stethoscope as a device to amplify the sound of heart. Last, match the following. You have to match the column A to column B. Column A has stomata, xylem, phloem, hemoglobin, human heart and kidneys. In column B, we have 4 chambers: transpiration, transport of food in plants, transport of water in plants, part of excretory system and in RBCs. So, stomata helpful in transpiration, xylem transports water in plants, phloem transports food in plants, hemoglobin is present in RBCs, human heart has 4 chambers, and kidneys are the part of excretory system. So dear students, here we come to an end of this chapter. I hope you all have understood the chapter well. Students, you all stay safe and healthy. Keep studying, keep smiling. We will soon meet with our new chapter. Good day. Thank you.